Courtney Ross, thank you so much for coming to the Sunday Show.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So, watching the trial, the moment you came on screen, I hadn't even said a word, and I was like, who is this person? And then you started telling the story of you and Floyd, as you call him. And I remember tweeting out at the time, she didn't love, it's not that she loved past tense George Floyd. She still does. You still do. More than a year later.
More than ever.
Why?
I learned quickly after Floyd died that our spirits have been together for a long time. This hasn't been our first rodeo. We've been connected throughout this journey in the universe, and I know after this we'll be together again. I know that our souls are united. I'm with him all the time. His spirit is constantly with me.
How does that manifest itself, his spirit?
I hear him. He tells me things, particularly when I'm in need and need his strength and his big arm around me, because I miss that the most, and I can feel him. He keeps me on a path right now. He is trying to make sure that I stay steady to our goals and our future that we have talked about. So he keeps me in the right places at the right time.
What are those goals?
My favorite one that's exciting to me is opening up a restaurant. Floyd and I, for a long time, had talked about opening a restaurant that provided sustainable employment for people that had prior convictions.
In an interview you did with my Washington Post colleague, Robert Samuels, you said to him that your therapist said to you, there's George Floyd and there's Floyd.
Yes.
And if I don't keep that straight in my head, I'll go crazy.
Yes.
Because George Floyd is what people want him to be. Floyd is who he is. What people want him to be? What do you think people want him to be?
I've seen George Floyd represented in so many different ways now. He's a movement. He represents a lot of organizations and a lot of activists and a lot of boots on the ground. Some of the things that I see coming out of his name don't necessarily jive with what he was about. Floyd was a very peaceful man, nonviolent. He spent his entire time in Minneapolis securing people. His jobs were always in security, so he could take care of people, not so he could be a big tough guy. That was never the goal. He wanted to make sure everyone was okay and make sure everything was all right. So anyone that I've seen that uses his name in the name of violence or hatred, that's where I really struggle.
You were, before we started talking on camera, you were talking about how down at George Floyd Square, the things that are happening down there are making you very angry.
Yeah, it's a struggle for me because right now there is such a divide. There is the people at Floyd Square that want things one way. There's the politicians that want things another way. I know Floyd. I know Floyd did not believe in divisiveness. He believed in people coming together. So it's difficult for people to use his name for their cause when that is not something he would necessarily believe in. I know Floyd, and I know that he would want what's best for the entire community. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I know it doesn't look like anything that is divisive.
You know, also in this profile by Robert, which is a fantastic profile if anyone hasn't read it,
yes.
You were talking about the reaction to you on the stand.
I knew the day that Chauvin got sentenced that he was going to be found guilty, but until then, I've always been kind of aware of the fact that I was with Floyd. I'm a white woman. He's a black man. People in this day and age are still unsure of what that means, and it's just love. It's very simple, but people try and make it more complicated than that. And so when I went on the stand and I told the truth, I thought, what if I ruin this case? And it comes with a completely different verdict, and I caused this movement to just crush. And thank God, Floyd, like he always told me, like, just tell the truth. Like, he told me, I'm the truth. Like, you're the truth, babe. So I told the truth, and this time it came through in the justice system. This is the one time.
You have said that, everyone's got their own thing going because of Floyd. Everyone's on this journey, and I still don't know what to do or what to feel. That was in April. Here we are in July.
Yeah.
Do you know yet?
I'm feeling like I can follow our path more now. I was so trapped in grief. Jonathan, I could not get out of bed. I could not get out of my house. I used to be the type of person that, flitted around like a butterfly. I loved jumping from place to place and being with all my former students and family. And I was trapped. I was paralyzed for so long. And once the day of him dying came, May 25th, I felt like because I made it a year that maybe I could start working on some things that we wanted to do. And now I'm starting to take those small steps to get to where we wanted to be. And when I do that, we're just so close that I feel so strong. So I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm supposed to be here today because he wanted me to.
Since we are in the 4th of July, 4th of July weekend, I'm asking everyone this question.
Okay.
On America's birthday, what does America mean to you?
Ooh. I think there's different Americas for everybody. I always talk about what white America looks like. And that's nothing I really identified with in my life, even though I'm very clear I'm a white woman. But the mentality behind what it means to be a white American never fit my heart, because I think there is such embedded racism in white America that there's so much work to do that I wouldn't want my heart to understand that yet. But as far as 4th of July goes, I mean, I was talking about it with my son last night. He's 13. And he said, Mom, why do we spend, the money on all these things? Why do we advertise and spend money on fireworks? Why couldn't we take that money and do something else? And I thought, you're completely right. Why do we spend this time celebrating a place that is killing our citizens on the street when we could be doing something else with that time and money? So this year, it's not a holiday I'll be celebrating. I'll be spending it with my family like I always do, but it's going to take some work for me to celebrate this country again, to be honest.
Courtney Ross, thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you so much for coming to the Sunday Show.
Thank you.